A little over 2 years ago, we were on our way to come work on the farm. It's when we were still cleaning trash out of the farmhouse, but we stopped at a yard sale on the way and I found this beautiful light fixture for $5. I could not pass it up. I knew it was brass and there was some gold bits shining through. I just knew that if I cleaned it up really well, that it would be perfect for our dining room. So it has been in storage in our addition for over 2 years now. So I finally pulled it out and it was time to get shining on it so that we could get it hung in the dining room. I used the powder barkeeper's friend on a wet rag to kind of make a paste and just wipe down the best I could. And I did have to scrub on this light fixture for about 2 or 3 hours, but it did finally clean up. And as you can see, it has little like indentions in it. It has a lot of design on it. So down inside of the design, that is meant to stay dark. And then the high points of it are meant to be brass and gold. So that is what I was trying to do here, is just wipe off any of the tarnishing and just make it shine on the points where it was supposed to shine. But this light fixture is so heavy. I don't know any of the history of it or anything like that. All I know is that whenever I bought it, the guy told me it was solid brass. So I'm going with that. It may not be, but that's just what I was told. So that's all I know to go by.
So even though the ceiling is not done, we went ahead and hung this light fixture. I worked on cleaning it up this morning and we went to the hardware store, got the pieces that it could mount up there with, and we will have to take it back down whenever we hang beadboard. Well, not take it down, but pull that plate down, just let it fall, and then we will finish cutting around the beadboard around it. But it makes such a difference, and it's literally about 20 pounds. So we left these coats underneath of it, and both of our arms are jello after holding it up there for so long. But I'll show you guys with the light on. It just takes the dining room up like so many notches. It's just so pretty. We both love it. We said that you could actually see the wallpaper and everything in here now, because before it just looked, I don't know, like it just kind of looked like bare walls and you couldn't really tell the detail, but it brightens it up so much. And we both said that finally we could see in here to actually work, because before we were wearing headlamps and having to put in work lights in here so that we could see. But the 5 bulbs really is a game changer. Here is a close-up of the light. It's completely brass, and I have no idea like the time period of it or anything like that. But all I know is I found it at a yard sale for $5. I loved it, and it is the perfect light for in here in the dining room. And I know a lot of people expect us to just go with like a particular kind of light where it is farmhouse, but I don't know. I've never been really one to stick with one design just based on the house. I just kind of like find what I like and then make it work for the house. So that's what I did with this, and it fits perfectly, I think. I absolutely love it so much.
This is the dining room closet door, and I previously had peeled the paint on it. I'm not sure if that was in a previous video or not, but I had peeled the paint on it and sanded it down, and now I'm staining it with Early American. Early American is what we've used in our kitchen, and we're trying to use it all throughout the house just because it pulls really nicely with our floors. And I love that it is a darker finish, so it gives the look that I want. It's a little bit red, a little bit brown, but it's deep in color, and I really like that. So it's going to match our kitchen tabletop perfectly, and also the china cabinet that we ended up putting in the dining room. So you'll see that in just a little bit in this video. But as soon as I finish putting the stain on in small sections, I do take a paper towel and wipe off the excess just so it doesn't sit on there, because sometimes it can get cakey, but also just so it doesn't soak up too much of the color. This is the original hardware that was on the door. It just needs to be refinished. They painted over it and it's really hard to get off, but it is Eastlake hardware and it's so beautiful once it's clean. So the other day we brought in this pie safe, and everything that was in the addition is so dirty. So it's been in storage for like 3 years now, which it needs cleaned up. So I need to work on cleaning this. And then the dining room table, I've been working on it. I sanded it down really good. Ben's dad actually made this table for us as our wedding gift. It has oak legs and then the top is walnut. So it's really dark, and it had polyurethane, like a really thick coat of polyurethane on it. But we had set boxes on top of here to store. And so there was like a huge stack of boxes, but
while it's been sitting in there, we really messed up, and we were sliding boxes across, so it got some pretty bad scratches in it, and I sanded all of it down. But instead of putting a polyurethane on top of it, I did oil to see if it would make it like a little matte finish. And plus we just have oil. I really like oil. Like if I can oil something over polyurethane it, I'm probably gonna oil it. So I put our butcher block oil on this that is from the kitchen. So far it's doing good, but if not, then I'll just polyurethane it. But also the way that we had boxes stacked on it, some of it wasn't covered, if that makes sense. So as you can see, there's a straight line right here. That part of the table right there got bleached. So there's really nothing we can do about that. Like the wood is just bleached now from the sun. So we really messed up. We should have tarped this table and we didn't think about it. And then down here on this corner, the sun also bleached it on this corner. But we still like it and we love it and we're still gonna use it. It's so sentimental to us, but just because it was our wedding gift for us. But we should have definitely taken better care of it. So the table right now, it can easily fit 6 people, probably 8 if we had to squeeze. But we had him custom build it for us because we wanted to be able to sit 6 people comfortably, and that's what this table does. So there is plenty of elbow room and stuff. But since the dining room is so large, we still have plenty of room with this table in here. So his dad is actually gonna cut this table in half, and he's gonna make it to where it'll have leaves. Like the table will then be on a track and we can pull it apart and have leaves, because we would love a table that can sit 10 to 12 people, if not more. So whenever we have big family dinners and stuff, we're gonna just pull this table apart and the whole dining room will be just for like this table and seating. And if we have to, we even talked about turning it diagonally and running the table this way. So it would run all the way over here. That way we can have more room. So we have a lot of options, but this is our table and it's very simple. Whenever he built it for us, we just stressed that we wanted a simple table because at our old house, we didn't know what we wanted, but we knew that was not our forever house. And we truly did not know what we wanted as a kitchen table. We were young. I was 18, Ben was like 22. So we just did something simple, and Ben wanted a dark top and light legs. So he ended up doing oak and walnut. And I forgot to show you, the table started to split a little bit. So we may have to work on that a little bit. And that is just because the addition is not climate controlled. So we really messed up by storing that table in there. We just didn't think of it. Like it was just, and nobody really said anything to us about it. Our whole family knew it was in there, but we just did not think about it and we messed up. So hopefully we can get it fixed. And either way, we will still use it and love this table just because it means a lot to us. But the door over there, as you can see, I went ahead and stained it, but I'm gonna have to take it back down. We just put it up because we wanted to see what it would look like. But I did not do a good job. We were sanding the door in the rain on the porch. So we were trying to hurry up and get it done with, and we couldn't see because the wood kept getting wet. The water was blowing in. So we are gonna have to take this door back down and re-sand it. And I still do not know if we're gonna flip the door around or what, but either way, it's gotta be re-sanded because the heat marks did not come out. But we'll have to do it whenever it's not raining, just because as you can see, you can't see on the porch whenever it's raining. So the door just kept getting wet and we thought we were doing a good job, but we weren't. It's still empty. We still have not built shelves or anything in there because I'm still trying to decide what kind of shelving I want in there, because we don't need a clothing rod like the coat rack rod or anything like that, just because under the staircase in the entry room, which is right in there, that is where we will have everybody store their coats whenever they come over to visit, or in the mudroom that'll be attached to the kitchen. So we have options there, but we just need this for like mostly like dining room linens, things like that, because I originally planned on storing cleaning supplies in there, but now that we're building the pantry the way that we are, it's gonna have like its own cleaning space in there. But I've been trying to pull some decorations out from the addition, and one thing I knew I wanted in this dining room is this picture. I bought it right before we moved from our old house, and I never even got to hang it up or anything. We actually got this picture right here, which it's cheap. I don't know if you can see, it is so dirty, but we bought this picture frame and the one that is in the kitchen at the same yard sale. So we are getting to put those to good use, and I love them. They're super old. I don't know anything about them, but all I know is I love them and I love this frame. So it is gonna get hung in here somewhere. We're just not sure yet.
As we were going through the addition, I have went through these boxes so many times trying to find kitchen dishes and just things like that, but I found a few of my vintage dishes, and a lot of these are sentimental pieces that were handed down from, so a lot of these are from my great-grandparents and my grandparents' dishes, and then some of them I've just picked up at thrift stores along the way, but I need to find the rest of them. I know they're in the addition somewhere, but I boxed everything up terribly. I didn't do a good job labeling. So I know I still have more dishes, and that's why I wanted this china cabinet in the corner. I keep calling it a pie safe. I don't know why I call it a pie safe, but it's not. It's a china cabinet, and I think it is going to be so beautiful to display some of our older dishes in. And I do use some of these dishes sometimes just for blog photography and things like that, but where they are sentimental, we don't eat off them or anything like that, but they just stay in here. So these plates right here, they were my mama's, and it was my dad's mom. So I do love these dishes. And you're going to notice that I have a lot of blue dishes. I don't know what it is, but I'm very drawn to blue dishes. So in here in the dining room, I did decide, which you'll see later in this video, try out a blue rug, which the one that I show in this video, I end up taking back to the store because I don't like it. But I am trying to bring some blue into our dining room. This picture right here, it has a lot of blue in it in the skyline. Once I get it cleaned up here, you may be able to see. So we did decide to go ahead and start moving some furniture into the dining room, and that is simply because of our tractor. So as you guys know, if you've watched my previous videos, I mentioned it probably it was probably 4 or 5 videos ago, that we had to take our tractor off to go get fixed because the clutch, the PTO, and the parking brake and some other stuff was wrong with it, which we have to get it ready for hay season. So we had to take it off to get worked on, and there was 2 other tractors ahead of us that were being worked on, but the guy could not give us a timeline on how long it would take, just because he's just one man. He runs the garage out of his house and stuff like that, and he's supposed to be the best in our area, so we trust him and we wanted it to go to him to get worked on. But we do not know how much it is going to cost, just because with tractors, you don't know until you truly get in there. You tear the tractor apart and you figure out what is causing the problem and why it's broke. So he couldn't give us a quote or an estimate on how long it would take, but we have to make sure that we have enough money to pay him whenever we go to pick up the tractor. So we cannot buy the trim or the beadboard for the ceiling in here until we know exactly how much the tractor is going to cost. So right now we are just playing a waiting game. We have no idea when he is going to be done. It could be 2 days, it could be 2 months. We literally have no idea, but we're hoping it's sooner rather than later, and we're hoping that it's not as much as we think it's going to be, but we know it's at least going to be a couple thousand, and we're hoping we still have enough left over to finish out the trim and the beadboard after the tractor is paid for. But that is why we're going to go ahead and just start decorating, because we have no idea how long it's going to take. We want to go ahead and be able to use the dining room. So even though I'm not buying any new furniture or new things, I did buy a new rug, but other than that, we're not buying anything new for the dining room. I'm just going to use the decor that I already have, and we do have random chairs that we can use in the dining room, but we just don't like them, but they're fine to use for a little while until we can pay to get the chairs that we actually want in here in the dining room. But we just needed the chairs to sit on a rug because they do have wheels and they damage the floor like crazy. So that's why we're actually not keeping them permanently, just because they do so much damage to the floor. We will eventually get our dream dining room chairs, but for now, we just needed to get a rug so that we could have the chairs sit on that rug. That way we could go ahead and use the dining room even though the trim is not finished yet. So this is the rug that I was telling you guys about earlier in the video, but I don't end up keeping it. I put it out on the floor and realized that I do not like it. It looks way too modern, but I got this rug from Lowe's and I actually took it back and exchanged it for another one, but it's not shown in this video because I edited this video and the rug is still not laid down. So hopefully I'll get to show it in my next dining room video. But this rug, I just didn't like. It was way too modern looking and I wanted a vintage rug, but I looked at antique stores, I checked on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, anywhere I could think of to find a vintage rug, but I could not find anything that I liked. If I did find something, it was either way too small or it was stained. And I don't want a big stain on my rug already. I want to be able to put the wear and tear on it myself. And I know that's hard with vintage rugs, but unless you're willing to pay about $800 to $1,000 on eBay, you're not going to get a vintage rug in good condition, and I'm just not willing to pay that right now. So more than likely we will have a modern rug in here until I just stumble upon a vintage rug that I like, and it needs to be for a decent deal. So I'm just not willing to pay anywhere even close to like $600 and up for a vintage rug. But that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe.